Now watch the embarrassment. You receive slap according to the setting of your face. You see, sometimes when you think about it, it's like African leaders, they don't know what is called pride and dignity. They themselves are the reason why Africa has been disrespected and regarded as beggars. When you put people in the right perspective, they respect you. You receive slap according to the setting of your face. It has now gotten to the level where even Korea, a small country like Korea, has started disrespecting not only African leaders, but the entire continent of Africa. And Ruto of Kenya, the president of Kenya, Ruto, in 2023 Africa Leadership Ceremony, he was the first to point out the disrespect of the world leaders towards African leaders. In that meeting, William Ruto has emphasized that African leaders should be respected on the global stage and not be treated as children by the world leaders. During that particular summit, 50 African leaders were present. Your leader, my leader, they were there. But they were not even given the opportunity to have one-on-one with the US president. And President Ruto, in his speech, he said, let me quote him, he said, there is a debate that is going to evolve. Like, for example, we have also decided that it is not going to be business as usual. We have these meetings, Africa-US meeting, Africa-Europe, Africa-Turkey meeting, Africa-India, Africa-Russia, and Africa-Japan. We have made the decision that it is not intelligent for 54 of us to go and sit before one gentleman from another place. And sometimes we are mistreated. We are loaded into buses like school kids. It is not right. So the decision that we have made as AU, Africa Union, is that going forward, if there is going to be a discussion between Africa and other countries, we are going to be represented by the chair of the African Union Commission. Now ask yourself, if this speech by William Ruto was put in action, this is the problem with us, or let me say with our democratic leaders. They talk without action. The military leaders, they take action and the people do the talking on their behalf. You all could remember that this particular speech by William Ruto went so much viral and Africans praised Ruto as the champion of the day. But today we don't even know where Ruto is. They practically put him in their pocket. I'm waiting for the day when there will be Nigeria-Europe Summit, Ghana-Europe Summit, Togo-Europe Summit, where all the world leaders will attend in Africa, where we are going to have Ghana-Asia Summit or Cameroon-Europe Summit. And leaders will move from Asia, Europe, wherever to come to Africa to attend, just like our leaders have been doing. We have had the US-Africa Summit, Russia-Africa Summit, Japan-Africa Summit, Indian-African Summit, this and that African Summit. And the goal of all this summit is one: the resources and the controlling of Africa. That is the end goal of this summit. Early this year, Italy-Africa Summit was held in Rome. More than 20 African leaders packed their bag going to meet one single gentleman in Rome. Now let's come to the embarrassing part. Just recently, for the first time, there was South Korea African Summit organized in the capital city of South Korea. South Korea, a small country like South Korea. And then quickly, before the news could even come out, our leaders gathered themselves like sardines to go and meet one South Korea gentleman without any shame. I was very happy to know that our heroes like Ibrahim Traore and other revolutionary leaders, they refused to go because at the end of the day, it is embarrassment. So our revolutionary leaders, they refused to attend this useless summit. Now, the theme of the summit is the future we make together, share growth, sustainability, and solidarity. That is the theme of the summit. The aim of the summit on the surface is to elevate cooperation between South Korea and Africa. According to them, the summit is designed as a comprehensive platform for multiple topics, including businesses and agriculture. But what is the truth of the matter? The truth of the matter is this: that South Korea is systematically trying to develop a strong relation with Africa so that they can easily have access to the minerals on which South Korea technology industry depends on. This is proven by the speech of South Korea Principal Deputy National Security Advisor Kim Tae-ho, whatever that name is. Listen to him. He said, before the meeting, this is what he said: for South Korea, which aims to become a global pivotal state, cooperation with Africa is not a choice, but a necessity. Listen to that. Interestingly, the summit ended with 50 agreements signed between South Korea and 48 Africa countries. These are agreements they don't tell you and I about. You take my tax money to travel out to sign deals in my name, to go out there to represent me. After coming back from the trip, you don't see it necessary to brief me about the meeting. No accountability, no transparency. That is what we are eating in Africa. Now, let me tell you what happened. At the meeting, most of this agreement in South Korea, they are related to the mining sector. Among those agreements were those signed with Madagascar and Tanzania. The deal between these two countries is to secure supply of critical material for the Korean battery industry. Watch embarrassment too, but before that, make sure kindly subscribe to the channel and like the video. All right, now watch the embarrassment. South Korea pledged to donate 10 billion US dollar to Africa, not one nation in Africa, but the whole Africa in foreign aid by 2023, and to further offer 14 billion US dollar in export credit to Korean firms interested in entering the African market. They additionally signed another 2.5 billion US dollar concessional loan agreement with Tanzania for Tanzania to use the money to fund significant projects in the healthcare infrastructure. Similar $1 billion deal was signed with Ethiopia. Isn't this so much so embarrassing in 21st century that South Korea will gather all Africa countries and be acting like they are our savior to pull us out of poverty, to help us? South Korea, can you all see how they are practically degrading the continent by going around begging without shame? You have the resources but can't help yourself. The person without the resources have to help you. Make it make sense to us. Are we cursed or what? Sometimes I ask this question, what is happening? All other countries are fully aware that for them to fully function on the global stage, they need to control Africa and have access to the resources. But Africans refuse to use the thing. The disturbing aspect of this summit between one country and the entire Africa continent is that this summit are always and usually held in the host country. For example, the US Africa Summit was held in the US. The Italy Africa Summit was held in Italy. The South Korea Africa Summit was held in South Korea. Unless the invitation is not out. Once it is out, our leaders shamelessly will be on board. They will leave every problem there is in their country and then boot off. They go there and sit like school children to just listen to one gentleman. After the meeting, they'll go and then group them together with that particular gentleman to take pictures, like school children taking picture with their teacher. Meanwhile, our continent is full of pride and have enough to offer out there. Apart from the paper dollar that these countries have, apart from the paper dollar, they don't have anything. They have nothing much to offer us. These leaders are practically degrading us. Enough is enough. They always go out there, exchange our resources with loans to come and share. Loans that are of no benefit to our individual countries. In fact, loans that are of no benefit to the entire continent. Now, this brought the question, if truly the African Union is functioning, if African Union is actually functioning, they will send representatives to represent Africa, not all of them going like school children, as Ruto said earlier. The painful thing is that the outcome result of all this summit has always been the host country promising this and that amount to Africans for whatever reason. Nothing else. This summit only end up benefiting the host country, leaving Africa with nothing but paper in the account of our so-called leaders. African leaders, it is high time they must understand that right now, Africa is the future because we have both the human resources and the natural resources. But because they are interested in the dollar more than anything, we will keep on going with this useless circle. Instead of signing this useless agreement, why not sign agreement that will make sure that this countries build factories in the country so that it can create job opportunities, investment that can boost the youth to be useful. Imagine South Korea thinking of developing and upgrading their battery industry with African minerals, but Africa countries are not thinking of developing their nothing industry. If we continue with this attitude, when exactly are we going to be at the table? After William Ruto made the bold speech at the 2023 Africa Leadership Summit, you know what happened? They quickly found ways and means to package him and put him in their pocket. And now he's there. We can't find him. What exactly do you think is the solution for this good for nothing circle we are in? Submit your thought respectfully in the comment. Respect.